All right, John Sterling here. Listen, I help salespeople get started fast. I've got a podcast for you here today called Noob School, where we interview crazy good salespeople, outstanding VPs of sales, and business owners who are all successful and started in sales. We're going to drill back to when they were just getting going. We're going to learn about some of the smart things that they've done to help them crush it, and also some of the things that slowed them down. We're going to publish this podcast every Friday morning so you can get some juicy weekly tidbits. It's going to help make you better and better every week. So we'll help your sales career get launched like a rocket ship. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and believe it or not, TikTok. No dancing, I promise. There may be some dancing. SalesTrainingForNoobs.com is the website. Enjoy the Noob School. All right, another quick story, little edutainment. We talked about the rule of one. If you remember the rule of one, that's, when you're talking to your prospect, we want to just ask them for one thing at a time. And my company, we almost violated that just like last week. And I had to remind the team that we were going to just ask the prospect for one thing. But today I want to talk about the rule of five. And some of you may have heard about the rule of five before. And it's, again, it's one of these things that I've heard before. And I'm like, hey, I hear you. And then just kind of let it go out the other ear, as it were. But the rule of five is that we kind of become our character, our being, what we do, we kind of become the average of the five people that we hang around the most. So that means if you hang around, a bunch of scallywags, you're probably going to kind of morph into a scallywag, and if you hang around, the five most interesting business people in town, you're probably going to move in that direction. And why is that? Well, I think you can figure it out. I mean, if you're hanging around these scallywags, you're talking about, where they can get their drugs from and, how they're going to, figure out a way to scam someone out of some money or, borrow your car. I don't know what they do. I don't hang around scallywags, but if you're hanging around the most interesting business people, they're talking about things like, these are the ways that we found to bring more value to our customers, and therefore, we're able to increase the value of our company. And here's probably the best way we found to give back to the community. Here's like one of the best nonprofits that we've seen, or here's the best way we found to leave a legacy. When we're long gone, that they'll still remember, what we've accomplished here, and we can still be helping the community long well after. And here's some ways that we found for longevity, for staying alive and healthy and vibrant as long as we possibly can. That's not what the scallywags are talking about. This is what these more interesting people are talking about. I'll give you an example. A friend of mine named Arch Thomason, he was on the podcast recently, and he has been with a firm, a third-party firm called Vistage, and also one called YPO, or Young Presidents Organizations. And both of these are, I think they're nonprofit, maybe they're for-profit, I don't know, but they're for young and aspiring business people, CEOs of companies that are growing. And they pretty much just put these people together in groups where you might have a group of 8 to 15 people. You're all CEOs, you're all in these companies that are of a certain size, and you're just, meeting once a quarter and talking about, how's hiring going for you? What kind of comp plans are you using? Where are you getting your supplies from? And that's the conversation you can imagine those people are having over here. And over here, if you're just friends with whoever you're friends with, they might be talking about things like, who won the football game, or where can I buy the new Jordans from, or a new sports car, whatever the heck they're talking about. I don't know. But these people aren't talking about that kind of stuff. They're talking about, how can I make my business better? How can I stay alive longer and be healthy? How can I leave a legacy? So you just need to understand that you have a choice on, which way you lean. And I'm not suggesting that you fire all your friends that aren't business leaders, okay? But you can certainly, if you want to be kind of on that side of the fence, you can just lean that way. And what I mean is, pick your people that you'd like to hang out with, that you think they're going places that you'd like to go, okay? And that could be, maybe it's not business, maybe it's music people, maybe it's acting people, maybe it's, restaurateurs, I don't know. But whatever you're into, pick those people that are into that also, that you think, have a good chance of success, and try to hang out with them. Create, something on your calendar where it reminds you to ask them to do stuff like once a month. Hey, Charlie, it's John again. You want to go for a walk? You want to go for a juice? You want to go for a beer? You want to go for a whatever? And you just keep asking and keep asking and keep trying to hang out with these people. And you'll see a big difference. You can be the leader, and you can ask, let's say, these 5 people you've identified. You can say, hey, all of you people love, you're all young restaurateurs, and I'm one too. Why don't we all get together once a month and eat at a different restaurant and compare notes on what we're trying to do? And so all of a sudden you become the leader, in organizing this thing, and you're kind of making this thing happen. People are getting together, and you just be amazed if it happens that way. On the other side, let's just say you're in the restaurant business, and you could just be hanging around whoever, and you're not talking about building restaurants or menu plans or recruiting chefs or, all the things you need to get better and better at to be, Carl Sobocinski one day. And so, again, it's your choice. Now, if you don't make a choice, what typically happens is you just get pulled one way or another. You typically get pulled the wrong way. Okay, people's like, hey, John, come to this, come to the game, come to the whatever. Or maybe your friend, your friend's friends ask you to go do something. In my case, my wife very often will say, hey, let's go out with the so-and-sos. And, so you just kind of end up getting pulled one way if you don't make a decision to go the way you want to go. And, one story or one example in my life is there's 3 great guys that are all fantastic business people that I've known a long time, and all of them are very busy, and they live all over the country. But since we've all known each other for a long time, once a year we go somewhere, we play golf for 3 or 4 days. And one of the guys is the golf nut, Bill, and he gets he gets to pick where we're going, and we don't care. We say, we don't care where we're going, you just pick it. And so we've been all over the place. We've been in Europe and all over North America. And then while we're there, while we're at the event, we pick the next date. And so it's on our calendar a year in advance. And so in addition to whatever else is going on in our lives, at least we know that, for one, 3 or 4 day period every year, we're going to be hanging out with each other and talking business and life strategy and all that kind of stuff. So that's another thing you can do, is just to start to put these anchors on your schedule with the people that you want to hang out with. And again, I don't think it's ever going to be perfect, but you can influence a lot of it based on your choices and what you want to make happen. So good luck to you, and remember the rule of 5. That's what you're going to become.